Hi everybody, John Cena here, and welcome to this super special brain training edition of FunkQuest. And we have two interesting people, one returning Funkster, one brand new Funkster. So let's get started. And we're going to ask Johannes, tell us where you're dialing in from.
Today again from Magdeburg, Germany. So it's the north part of Germany. And yeah, thanks for being back here. Looking forward to that.
You'll have remembered all the old questions.
Yes, but that will not help me today, would it? So
no, it wouldn't. No.
No.
Johannes, tell us in 5 words what you do.
I do memory competitions.
If you're listening to this episode, you're not listening to the previous episode with Johannes and Joshua Shea, go back and listen to where he memorized 20 words at the start of the show and record them at the end. And we got stuck on 2. Brett, tell us where you're dialing in from.
Hello, yes, I'm dialing in from Clapham Junction, southwest London.
Excellent. And tell us in 5 words what you do.
I change lives with words.
I'm sure we'll have some discussions about words as we go. Because you're new,
The rules of FunkQuest are simple. Each Funkster selects one of 4 icons. Behind each icon is a question which may or may not have anything to do with the icon. The Funkster then has 1 minute to tell a story, tell a joke, or maybe even answer the question.
Okay, so camera board today. Like we said, remembering the questions won't help you. You can pick a camera, a chess set, some pencils, or some strawberry buns.
Yeah, I go with the chess set.
The chess set. How many times a year do you have a holiday or vacation?
My girlfriend is saying that I should have more because I actually don't do vacations. Actually, next week I'm flying for the first time in my life for a vacation flying. I mean, I have been in Germany to other vacation sets, but I've never flew to a vacation in another country. I visited a lot of countries, but it was always for memory competitions and stuff like that. So it's the first time next week. I'm 41 right now. Is it a good thing? I don't think so. But anyway, so let's see.
How would you get? I mean, give us the country where you've been and how you got there if you don't fly.
If I don't fly, I go by train or by car. But so in Germany, you can reach everything by car, like in the UK, I guess, if you want. And you can also go to the Netherlands or Poland or whatever. So everything is very close. You can go by car here. You don't arrive. I will not arrive in a hotel where I know, okay, I have 1 day off and then I go to a competition. I have to train and everything like that. It's really just being there doing nothing, which is strange. And I hope I will survive that, but I'm pretty sure I will. So.
Survive doing nothing. Now, where are you going?
Italy.
Italy. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Brett, hopefully you got the idea. You can pick a camera, some pencils, or some strawberry cream cake.
Let's go for the camera.
The camera. Easy question to start off with. What do you think you are really good at?
Well, I guess the obvious answer and the reason I'm sort of talking about this is Scrabble, having been a former world champion. But the thing actually that I take more pride in, one of my former senior stakeholders in the business told me that my superpower is influencing and engaging with people. Unusually, maybe for Scrabble as a mind sport, where classically people think you're quite introverted, you're very studious and so on. We don't have many extroverts. We don't have many people who can go out and get people excited and get people kind of talking about the game and everything else. And I think I'm pretty good at that. I guess that's the thing that I'm most proud of. There's probably a couple of things I'd say I'm pretty good at on paper, but that's the one I'm happiest with. How
does organised Scrabble competitions work then? When you rock up, okay, Friday afternoon or whatever, is it like a knockout or how does it work?
Yeah, it varies depending on the tournament. So we have a rating system, which is roughly based on a kind of chess rating system. Yeah. So everybody will turn up who's played before and will have some kind of historical rating. Depending on the size of the tournament, you'll have a different number of divisions where, roughly speaking, you get people of equal ability playing. Big tournaments, such as one that I've got coming next weekend, which is the National Championship, will be 16 games in 2 days. So each game will last for roughly 50 minutes. That is what we call Swiss pairing. So the people who are winning more games will play people winning more games. Yeah. And then at the end, the person with the highest number of wins overall will win. If they're tied, it's then the score difference, so how much in total you beat your opponents by. And then obviously that contributes towards ratings, etc., etc. Something like the World Championship is an open, so anybody on the planet can enter and rock up and play. Generally, they have kind of like a premium division, which is where the world champion will be decided from, and then there are other divisions that people come along for, decent prizes as well.
I'm just imagining like the World Cup with my local miners' welfare team in it.
One question from my side here on the Scrabble thing. So, which language is it? All in English, or is it a mix? Can you choose?
There are world championships in a lot of different languages. The one that I play in is English. The interesting difference is that in France they play a slightly different version of the game. So here, and actually in Germany, we play one versus one. So I have my tiles and you have different tiles. So there's a luck element. In France, they play what's called duplicate. So everybody in the room has their own board. They all get the same letters, and they're given 2 minutes to find the highest score they can. So there is no luck. And interestingly, that I knew it was always going to happen. We've got one kind of phenom who's come through, who has won more world championships than anything else. He learned the entire French dictionary in 6 weeks, went to France, and then beat them in their own world championship without any luck involved whatsoever. And he has now defended that title, and he's got all sorts of French records, and he can't speak French.
Yeah, nice.
This is the other bizarre thing. So
that goes down well, don't it? But that goes down well, going to France and beat
No, it does not. They do not like it.
I can't imagine them being very impressed.
The only thing he speaks is the numbers, because they have to announce their score in French. So he knows how to do all of the scoring, but everything else is just, it's amazing.
So good stuff. You can pick a water drop, a fairground ride, some random wallpaper, or a footballer.
I go with a water drop.
Water drop. When you were younger, what freaked you out?
Dogs. Dogs. So it was. I still remember once. I was always afraid of dogs, but I still remember when I was walking with my mother. I might have been like 6 years old or anything like that, and there was a dog. It was a huge one. It was like 30 centimeters or anything like that. So it was really huge to me. And I was walking there and today I stay calm. Today I be cool. And I was walking like this and try to stay cool, stay calm. Nothing will happen. And nothing happened. But it's still, I don't really like dogs so much. If they're around, it's okay. And I'm not afraid of them anymore. But it's really that freaked me out when I was younger.
I think me and you are the same. One of my earliest memories is running down my mum and dad's drive with a little Yorkshire Terrier jumping up at me, biting me when I was about 5 or 6.
Luckily, it's not a problem anymore. But I was always also dreaming of a wolf. Had this bad dream of a wolf trying to catch me when I was very, very young. Maybe this is somehow connected. I guess so.
Yeah.
No? My story seems to be a bit dark today.
No, it's funny actually that Johannes mentioned about having it coming from a nightmare. So my uneasiness has carried through to adulthood. It's a really weird one. I don't like things with pointy noses or pointy shoes. So if you get people with, those like old plague masks that really go out, or people with like really long kind of winkle pickers, I actually feel queasy to see them. It's because my gran collected all this stuff from Africa, and she had this ebony gazelle head that was very long and elongated. And at the age of 3, I invented this character who appeared in every nightmare I had. It was really strange. And it was this long ebony gazelle head on top of a white robe. And maybe this was like wordplay started off early. He was called the Nightmare, the ruler of the night. This is how weird it got. Yeah. And so now I still have, when I see this elongated, whether it's a nose or it's anything else, just this involuntary reaction. It's bizarre, bizarre.
One moment, we're trying to stay positive on the show, so and nightmares. We'll move on quickly. We don't have your turn. You can pick a fairground ride, some wallpaper, or a footballer.
Let's go wallpaper.
Wallpaper. Who said something you will always remember?
Go actually with my headmaster back at secondary school. A chap called Guy Dodd, who was awesome. And at one of our kind of end of year assemblies, he said, whatever you learn in school, if there's one thing you'll take away from here, is please be responsible for your actions, or take account of your own actions. And years later, actually, I went back for a school reunion, and I saw him. We were having kind of wine and everything. And I thought, no, I'll mention this because this has been a really influential phrase that's carried me through life. And he looked at me and said, oh, I was really pompous back then, wasn't I? So the moral of this story is whenever you've got heroes growing up, never present them with the thing that you held them in esteem for, because they'll usually shoot it down.
It's just an act, right? It's just an act. That's good. Good story. What are we on? Question 3. Johannes. Red bus, strawberry buns, a pirate kind of chap, or some red wool?
I go with a pirate.
Pirate. When do you last trust your instincts?
Ooh, that's tough because I generally think too much about things. So I generally don't trust my instincts. But if I think a bit more about it, I think it was in the last memory match which I had a couple of days ago. And in these matches, you have to choose which discipline you want to memorize against your opponent. You have 1 minute to memorize a deck of cards, or 80 digits, or 50 words. So 5 disciplines. And I had to choose the right discipline against this opponent to get the next point. And I think back then my plan was different. But in the end, I choose no. I go with images today because I feel very good. And in this discipline, you have to memorize 30 images, the order of 30 images, as fast as you can. And I did a personal best. It was 12.03 seconds for 30 images, and I got them all correct. You have to get them all correct, otherwise you just get 0 points. And that was the right decision. And I'm still happy with that win because that was not expected.
So is it like kind of top trumps? Like I'm playing you, and I'm going to pick what I'm strong at and what I think you're weak at. Is it that kind of?
Yeah, it's like that. You have 5 disciplines, and you alternating choosing. Each one is choosing a discipline. Names and faces, words, cards, numbers, or images. And you try to pick a discipline which you can win because you need to reach 4 points. So that was that's actually what we are doing there.
Excellent.
What we are doing there.
I mean, that's simple, right?
It is.
I mean, the skill is obviously quite difficult, but the actual mechanics of the game is simple. Excellent. Brett, you're going to tell us in a moment how competitive Scrabble works compared to that. But first of all, you've got to pick a question, which is London Bus, strawberry buns, or the red wool?
I will go for the London Bus, please, being in London.
What is your favourite non-alcoholic drink?
Oh, it's a mix. It's half a pint of pineapple juice and the rest of it lemonade. It is the most amazing thing on the planet.
What's the purpose of that? Is that some brain?
No, it just tastes awesome. When I was growing up, I don't know if they still do these things, but there was a sweet called pineapple chunks, and it tastes like pineapple chunk. I was addicted to them. You used to be able to get like a quarter for 20p or something when I was at primary school, and it kind of takes me back. And they do say that the sense of taste and smell is the only senses that actually link directly to memory. So there's almost like a physiological pleasurable reaction.
Pineapple chunks are probably illegal now because of all the sugar in them.
I would imagine so. Or there's like 50 quid sugar tax on top of them.
Yeah. Pineapple chunks and cola cubes. Remember them?
Oh, cola cubes. Yeah, they were the other option. And what were they called? Sherbet. There were these little tiny sherbet pips, they were called, and they were another thing. And you used to go for them because you got a lot for your quarter. But the problem is if it was warm at all, or you didn't eat them immediately, they all fused together into a solid chunk. So often you'd forget them in your grubby little pocket as a 7-year-old, and then a week later your mum would go, "What is this?" And I was like, "Sorry, but it was."
But those yellow tubes with sherbet with a bit of licorice in the top.
Yeah, I hated licorice though. That was the problem.
Yeah, but if you'd not eaten it, it used to clunk at the bottom.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Concrete. Johannes, Germany won't have stuff like that. So there's no point asking you because you're far too healthy and like environmentally conscious and all that. But it's your turn anyway. Johannes, question 4: rubbish tip, some spaghetti, a swan, or some ladies and gents running to go swimming?
The swan.
The swan. What smell brings back memories?
When I teach people about memory, I always like, you have this, right? Everyone has this. There's a specific smell, and that brings up a memory. Maybe the cake of your grandmother, which she always baked for you, or anything like that. For me, it's definitely the smell of, I can't really describe it like food or cake, which my grandmother baked in her kitchen when we were there for several weeks in the garden. We were playing outside. We were building outdoor houses and everything like that. So we were fighting each other with a bow, with arrow and bow. It was. I mean, that's with my brother. So it was always fun. And I think these memories are really strongly connected to the smell of the different things she baked in the kitchen.
Do you use smells to, you don't have to tell us because it might be a trade secret, do you use smells to recall things?
Actually, yes, sometimes it's very rare, but sometimes I always memorize things by creating a visual image or trying to imagine things in a story. And it's very rare, but sometimes I build in smell as well. So I visualize myself smelling like fire and something like that. So I would try to visualize that. And then during recall, I have a good chance that the smell comes up again. And then I would remember the story, what it was all about the fire.
How long do these images last? I mean, could you remember the words that we talked about 2 weeks ago or whenever it was we recorded that episode?
Actually, I think I would be able to come up with a few, but just very few. Yeah. And because after 2 weeks without any review, I also forget these things. And that's a good thing because in a world championship, I have to memorize 3,000 digits in 1 hour. And it would be a mess if I would have them all in my head still. So it's good that you forget things. And that's one of the best parts in our brain, forgetting things. There are savants and people who can't forget anything. They can hardly have a normal life because every information is just stuck there. And it's hard to live your life if everything is just always there. So forgetting is a good thing.
That's good, wise words from a world memory champ. That's Facebook, isn't it? Remembering everything, that's Facebook, right? That's what probably have at the moment.
Maybe, yeah, right.
Brett, question 4, rubbish tip, spaghetti or some ladies and gents going swimming?
Well, since you asked me about a tip for Scrabble, let's get the rubbish tip out of the way first, and I'll come up with a good one later.
Okay, well, when do you last do a slam dunk?
If it's physical, I have never in my life slam dunked a basketball. If we're talking metaphorical, that's a good question. I guess the thing that I really nailed that was the work I was doing with the previous company I did some consulting with, which is we absolutely had to have a full team on board for launch, and I managed to get everybody, all these random roles hired at the right time. Everybody was happy. We launched, we hit every target we wanted to, and actually seems to be ahead of everything from what I can tell now. But I'm rubbish with basketballs. So
you turned around out of sight of everybody and you just went, yes.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. Although, of course, nowadays, because of the kind of life we've come from, everything's video. So I can literally just put my hand over it and go, yes, and no one can see. So,
yeah. Mute the camera, mute the mic.
Or I could do it off camera like this and you have no idea what
Yeah. Excellent. We could edit that bit out or edit something in. Question 5, Johannes. Some flowers, some nuts, some towels or a light bulb?
The light bulb.
These questions aren't fixed, it is really genuinely like random. Which board game did you play most when you were younger?
Chess, but also all these how do you say that? So the games where you play with more people, like Monopoly.
Monopoly,
kind of games. Yeah. And Monopoly was a game which we always played with my father, and he had really no mercy with us, not at all. So we have been 10 years old, or I have been 10, my brother's 8 and 5, and we were playing Monopoly, and we were losing all the time, all over the place. He just get all of our money, and I was crying sometimes because I couldn't lose. Oh. But he never had any mercy. And but I learned from that. And nowadays, no one wants to play with me because I am the same. And I want to win every single board game, no matter who is playing with me. And sometimes I have to adapt myself when I'm playing my 2-year-old niece because I think it's a bit tough then.
It's a tough world. It's a tough world.
It's a tough world, right? Yeah. So. Yeah. And that's what I learned there. You don't give anything away. Try to win it. And I like board games because they have clear rules. You play according to the rules, and you can win your over your opponent. There's nothing like who has the most money or anything like that. I mean, in Monopoly, it's actually like that. But you know what I mean. So you have rules, and you play to the rules, and you can compare yourself. Are you better than the other one or not? And that's
what's the most expensive property on German Monopoly?
This is the Schlossallee. This is the last one. So how does it called in UK? In Germany, it's Schlossallee. So like Castle Street, anything like that?
Yeah. No, Mayfair and Park Lane, too expensive Central London, in it, Mayfair and Park Lane.
I should say in German, I was destined to be a board game player because German for board game is Brettspiel. So I am literally designed to play board games.
Board game king, excellent. Question 5: some flowers, some nuts, or some rolled up nice towels?
Oh, let's go nuts.
Nuts. How many times have you eaten out this week? You just come back from France, so every night, won't you?
I have, yeah, actually that is true. Yeah, that is true. So it would have been every night. So what's that? And including lunch. It's probably about 10 times or something like that. Yeah, quite a bit.
Drinking wine? South of France, whereabouts?
Drinking wine, yeah, in Toulouse, where they just stay open. All the bars stay open until kind of 3 a.m. So we were out at 1 a.m., obviously on holiday, so we weren't fast. But we were thinking, well, there are people still arriving at these bars. So we spoke to the barman, and he said, well, yeah, it's still early. But it's Tuesday. Don't these people have to work? It's very strange. But yeah, I think eating out actually has become a novelty, hasn't it? Because everyone's been used to kind of eating at home and eating in. And I've probably given Deliveroo's shareholders more of a pleasant experience than anybody else I know.
Excellent. So excellent. We're all on 5 questions. Excellent. Good episode. Johannes, how can we contact you?
I do memory competitions, and what I recently have done more and more is commentating on them. So check out Twitch if you know Twitch, and there you will find Memory Sports TV. It's a great channel. There are all these memory athletes from around the world competing against each other. And yeah, you can meet me and everyone else. So check it out, Memory Sports TV on Twitch.
Brett, how can we contact you and give us one Scrabble tip?
A couple of best ways to contact me. So from a Scrabble point of view, the Association of British Scrabble Players website, absp.org.uk, has me down as the kind of main contact. So if it's about Scrabble in general, you can contact me there. I'm also on LinkedIn, given what I do. So Brett Smitheram, there is only one Brett Smitheram. I say that both as a branding thing and a fact. So people can track me down and kind of message me wherever they want to. Scrabble tip. I'll go for something that I see people making a mistake all the time. The Q is a terrible tile. Do not hold on to the Q hoping that you are going to get a U, because you will be hampered and you will only have 6 usable tiles for most of your game. I have seen people sitting there at home waiting to play the Queen, God bless her, but get rid of it as soon as you can. So no words like QI, which is life force, or QAT, which is my personal favorite, which is a narcotic herb that got banned in the Middle East because people were chewing it and skewing off the roads in their mopeds.
Excellent, good tip. Gents, thank you so much for being on. It's been a very interesting episode, and we'll see, hopefully, you both later. Thanks so much, and take care.